Hello and welcome. This is Cheryl A. Major with thinstronghealthy.com and thehealthyeatingclub.com. And I want to welcome you to this edition of Ask Cheryl Anything. I used to do these calls weekly and then I kind of stopped. And I've had recently a couple of people ask me why I'm not doing them anymore and would I consider starting them up again. So here I am. So the basic premise is once a week, I will get on with you for 30 minutes, 45, however long it takes us. And I'll have a little topic that I'll present, and then you're welcome to ask questions. And if you can't be here live, I know a lot of people are working and have other commitments, you're welcome to email me any questions you have, Cheryl at thinstronghealthy.com, and I will be sure to answer them. In fact, we have a couple of people who have emailed in questions, and I'll address those in just a little bit. So today I want to talk about why all this health stuff, the weight, not being able to stop eating, not being able to lose weight, why it's not your fault. And what I say to the people with whom I work is it's not your fault. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. This has been done to you. It's been done to us. And we're the only ones who can say, that's enough. We're not doing this anymore. So let's talk about why it's not your fault. Back in the 70s-ish, when TV dinners became all the rage, actually it was probably late 60s. I can remember my mom being really excited because she could stick some TV dinners in the oven and she didn't have to cook every single dinner anymore. And that's when it all started and things became processed. And we stopped eating so much whole food and began eating more big food company food. And they design their food so that we can't resist it. There is a ton of sugar in it, ton of processed flours. And the reason for that is because they light up the dopamine center, they light up the pleasure centers of your brain and cause the release of dopamine. And dopamine is a feel-good chemical, which is why when you eat something like a muffin, a donut, a chocolate bar, a piece of cake, you have, what else could you have? You could have, anything that has sugar, that has highly processed flours. It helps you feel good for a short while, and then it drops you. And that's because it gives you a bump in your glucose, for one thing. So you might have some short-term energy, and then it drops you. But it also causes that release of the feel-good chemical dopamine for a short time. Now, if you're feeling really, really badly, as I often did. I mean, I freely share now that I lived as a depressed person, a chronically depressed person, from the time I was 12 for more than 40 years. And some days it was hard to get out of bed. It was hard to do my job. It was hard to fool the world. It was a lot of work. And having a muffin or a donut was my go-to thing because it gave me a burst of energy. It gave me that feel-good feeling if I were feeling really down. So I get it. I understand. And unfortunately, big food's goal, their driving factor is their bottom line, not our bottom line. It's their bottom line. So they want to keep us coming back for more. They want to keep us eating, and they don't care about our health. Our health is not good business for them. Our desire to keep eating their processed food, that's what is good business for them, and that's what drives this. So big food has engineered the food to be irresistible to us. And they also do this thing, they test a lot of the time on kids, because kids can tolerate more sugar than we can. Did you know that we are born wanting sugar? We are born wanting sugar. It takes a few months, 3 or 4 months for us to develop a taste for salt, but right out of the womb, right out, we want sugar. And they capitalize on this. And kids can generally tolerate a higher degree of sugar than adults can. And they do tests with kids regarding sugar. And one of the tests, one of the studies that I read was one that they did with pudding. And what they did was they put amounts of sugar, increasing amounts of sugar, in little cups of pudding and gave them to the kids. And the kids eat it. They try something that's a little sweeter. They eat it. A little sweeter, they eat it, and they get to a point where they say that's too sweet, it doesn't taste good anymore. And that's what big food calls the bliss point of sugar. That's the perfect amount of sugar before it becomes too sweet. Now, what they discovered was, and this is really diabolical, is that once you get to that it's too sweet point, if you add more salt, people can tolerate more sugar. So they will add salt so they can put in more sugar. It becomes more addictive, you crave it more, and it's driving you to be overweight. It's driving you to be borderline diabetic or full-blown diabetic, type 2 diabetic. It's creating a whole host of issues, a whole host of issues. And, the very simple thing that you can do to save yourself is stop buying stuff in boxes and bags that have nutrition labels and that have nutrition breakdowns and ingredient lists. If you just buy food, if you buy a bag of apples, or you buy a bag of peppers, or a container of cucumbers. I mean, it might say cucumbers on it, and sure, that's a label, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the processed food breakdown. And the labeling is a whole other discussion for a whole other day. I've got a whole other course that I'm revamping and that I'll share with you when it's done. But yeah, if you just avoid bags and boxes and you go for the whole food, you're going to be in a lot better shape. And just something to remember: when you go grocery shopping, when you go grocery shopping, stick to the perimeter of the grocery store. Avoid the middle aisles. The perimeter of the grocery store is where you're going to find your whole foods, the foods that are better for you. It's in the middle aisles where you're going to really get yourself in trouble. That's where you're going to find the cookies, the crackers, the candy, the soda. That's where you're going to find the chips. And who doesn't love chips? I mean, they're wonderful. And you can have them once in a while. I'm not the food police anymore. I used to be, but that doesn't work for people. That doesn't work. So just know it's not your fault if you can't resist this stuff. And this is why it's engineered to be irresistible. It's engineered to be addictive. So how do you start going about getting them to release you from this? How do you escape from this? Well, I used to advocate really hardline stuff. And I'll be honest with you, for most people, that doesn't work because it's too hard. The stuff is too addictive. It's too alluring. It's too seductive. It makes us feel really good when we're feeling really badly. So I think now that the best thing is to take small steps for big changes. And if you just make one little tweak every week, you'll move yourself in the right direction. And frankly, don't diet, because diets don't work. Diets don't work. They're unsustainable. Diet is a 4-letter word, and it's not going to save you. It's going to it's going to make you feel worse. It's going to make you feel worse in the long run because it's not sustainable. And you get mad at yourself, and you're probably going to, most people will go and binge on the things that they've been craving, that they've been denying themselves. And then they get mad at themselves and they say, why do I bother? And they start eating again. And then they put the weight back on, and oftentimes they put even more on. And that's a whole interesting thing too, because the more you diet, the harder it is for you to lose weight. And there's a very good reason for that. It makes perfect sense. Your body is engineered to save you. Your body is engineered to save you. So what happens is, if you keep trying to lose weight, your body starts to get the message that you're starving, and your body will do anything to save you. So what it does, if you're a chronic dieter, is it will hold on to that weight that you're trying so hard to lose. And that's why, if you're a chronic dieter, it becomes harder and harder to lose weight. And another thing, I talk to so many people who've tried so many different diets, and they say, I do so well for the first week and I lose 4 or 5 pounds, and then I hit this plateau and nothing happens and I don't lose weight. Well, what the diet programs don't tell you is that when you lose that first 4 or 5 pounds, you're not losing weight. Well, you're losing weight, but what you're losing is water weight. You're losing water. And you should celebrate when you get to that plateau, because that's when you're going to start to really lose the weight, really lose the fat. Yay, you've plateaued. Now let's get down to business. But a lot of people get discouraged and they just fall off the wagon, go back to eating what they were eating before, eat more, gain the weight back, and even more. So it's a vicious cycle. And nobody explains this, because the diet industry is a multi-billion-dollar a year industry, multi-billion-dollar a year. So why would they want you to figure it out? You're the cash cow. We're all the cash cow for them. So it needs to be a lifestyle change. And in my opinion, it needs to be a gradual lifestyle change over time. Again, small steps for big changes. So what I suggest is that people, every week you push something off your plate. Don't deny yourself, push, but make a choice to push something off your plate and push something else that's healthier on your plate. And do that every week. Do that every week. And see how you can move yourself in a better direction with your health and your wellness. So let's take a look at a couple of the questions that I got. I got one from Ellen, and Ellen says, I try to diet and I try to lose weight. Why can't I do this? Well, Ellen, this is what we've been talking about. It's not your fault. It's not that you're trying and failing. It's that the system is rigged against you. The system is rigged against you, and you haven't been told what's going on. You haven't been told the truth about weight loss. It needs to be a lifestyle change rather than a diet. And I truly think that you need to reframe how you think about weight loss. I think it has to be framed as a healthy eating lifestyle that will be sustainable, that will be something that you will grow toward and morph into, rather than, again, I say rip the Band-Aid off a lot, because that's what I did, but that's like so much of this that I'm touching on, that's a whole other story for another time. And I'm sorry, I thought I had turned off the sound. There we go. Now it's really off. Why can't you do this? It's because the system's been rigged against you, Ellen. And you can do this, but it's not flipping a switch. It is a process. It is a process. So take heart and just try making changes. For instance, this week, if you're a soda drinker, or you drink fruit juice, or you drink a McLatte or whatever McDonald's makes, or Starbucks, if you drink a cafe latte there or a mochaccino there, make that change. Drink water instead. Drink water instead. And frankly, it doesn't matter if it's regular soda or diet soda, because artificial sweeteners tend to be 200 to 600 times sweeter than regular sugar. And something else that's really diabolical is that sugar does have to be digested, but artificial sweeteners don't have to be digested. They go right to your liver, and from there they go right to fat cells. And so, as counterintuitive as this sounds, you're going to gain more weight if you're drinking diet soda. And an extra caution on that: if you're prone toward depression, just a serving or two of an artificial sweetener can trigger a bout of depression. So avoid diet sodas, avoid soda. And if you want the bubbly, get some carbonated water. I mean, I'm laughing because I've worn two of them out. I use them so much over the years. For the past 10 years, maybe, I have used and loved SodaStream machine. I carbonate my own water. Don't get the soda packs, the flavor packs. Those are loaded with sugar and junk. Don't do that. Just carbonate your own water and put a piece of lime, a piece of lemon, a slice of orange in there. And if you really want to have something with a little more juice-like flavor, put a tablespoon of something like an organic tart cherry juice in that. But you have to watch how much fruit juice you have, because, I'll tell you in a minute, because that is not the whole food. That goes right to sugar and right to fat too. I would much rather see you eat a whole slice of orange than drink orange juice. You've got all the extra stuff in there. You've got the fiber to slow down the metabolizing of the sugar in the orange. So eat whole fruit, eat berries, much better for you than drinking fruit juice. So Ellen, I hope that's helpful. Be patient with yourself step by step. You might want to check out the Healthy Eating Club, Ellen. It's the membership site, and it's still at a very, very low price. If you go to the healthyeatingclub.com, there are 2 calls a month that are kind of similar to this. One of them is going to probably be a how-to cook thing, where I show you how to make something, or we talk about how to put something together that's quick and easy and that's healthy for you. And then I am going to be adding a group coaching call once a month. So people can come on and they can kind of air their frustrations and talk about where they're stuck. And I decided to add this because during the Anti-Diet Solution, which is my signature program, I've run it twice. And the second time I had each person who was there had 2 30-minute calls with me, one-on-one private calls. And we really dug into what was going on with them, really got into the weeds with stuff. And they enjoyed it, I enjoyed it. And while I can't do that in the Healthy Eating Club for everybody, I certainly can do it in a group venue. And the wonderful thing about group is you can hear something that you might not have thought of as being an issue or an aha moment for you that you might hear somebody else bring up, and it might really make a difference for you. So check out the healthyeatingclub.com. And then we have an email from Julie, and she said, I have no willpower. I have no willpower. What can I do to improve my willpower? Julie, a lot of us find that our willpower fails us from time to time. So take heart. There are a few things that you can do. First of all, don't try to be a saint about this. I think it's better for you to have a taste of something when you're really craving something rather than try to deny yourself, because that trying to deny yourself gets into the diet mentality, and then you give in and then you're mad at yourself. And I don't want you to get angry with yourself. I want you to have patience, and I want you to know that that you can do this, and that there are ways to work around the frustrations and the temptations. One of the things that I like to do is I like to have a piece of chocolate, a small piece of chocolate, 72%. Ultimately, it's good for you to have at least 70% chocolate. And if you're somebody who says, I can't have anything other than milk chocolate, I would encourage you to try moving yourself toward dark chocolate, because it's just better for you. But if you have a little piece of chocolate and you wait 15 or 20 minutes for your brain to get the message that you've had something sweet, you may find, Julie, that those cravings go away. And I haven't tried this, but I have read where if you just smell something sweet, sometimes that's enough to make the cravings stop. So you can try those 2 things, have a little piece of something. And if you're out and say you're at a birthday party and they've got birthday cake, and you say, oh, I want birthday cake, I want it so badly. Have a piece of birthday cake. It's okay, but have a sliver, have a little sliver, and wait after you finish eating it. Okay, let me back up. Have a little sliver and eat mindfully. Savor every single bite of that cake. Chew it, enjoy it, and when you're done, wait 15 or 20 minutes and see how you feel, because the odds are your brain will have gotten the message telegraphed from your gut via the vagus nerve to your brain saying, hey, we had something sweet. We're not craving sweet anymore. You may find that's true. And in that case, that's a good thing for you to do. Just have a little bite of something and then wait. And another thing to do, Julie, is when you're eating, eat less, and then wait. Eat until you feel about 80% full. So eat until you feel like, okay, I think I'm okay. I could eat more, but maybe I'm okay with this, and wait 15 or 20 minutes. And after that 15 or 20 minutes, if you're still hungry, have some more to eat. The odds are, I bet you anything, that you'll be fine in 15 or 20 minutes. And that will help you cut down on how much you're eating. It will also help you feel like you're in control. And when we feel in control, we have more confidence, our self-esteem is better, and we know we can do this. It's reinforcing. So don't diet. Be patient with yourself. Small steps for big changes. And push something off your plate or out of your world of eating or drinking, and replace it with something that's healthier. Replace soda with water. Replace Snickers bar with a little piece of dark chocolate. Replace, there are other things you can do too. I mean, if you're going out and you're having a hamburger with a friend and you have a choice, fries or salad, and you really want the fries, see if the other person's going to get fries, and then you order the salad, and then the two of you share it. And another thing you can do is you can take the top off the bun, and then you're eating half as much, and you're eating half as much of the processed food, because a bun is processed food. Bread is processed food. And always go for whole grain if you possibly can. I know I'm just jam packing this with a bunch of information, and we'll break it down more, but I need to hear from you about what in all of the stuff that I have put out there for you today, what do you want me to dig into? What do you want to know more about all of this? Because it's a rabbit hole. You go down this, it's endlessly fascinating. It's hugely exciting because you can transform your life. You can transform your health and wellness, mental and physical, by changing what you eat and how you eat. You can do it, I know, because I've done it, and I've helped other people do it too. So I think we'll wrap it up right now. And I want to thank you for spending this time with me. I will be posting this, and next Tuesday at 2 p.m. I will do this again. And this is Cheryl A. Major with thinstronghealthy.com. And I want you to go there too, please. There's a lot of free stuff there for you. There are recipes, there are resources and books. I don't know how many hundreds of blog posts I have there. You're welcome to sift through that. Anything there is yours. Please use it. It's a resource I've created for all of you. So Cheryl A. Major, thinstronghealthy.com and thehealthyeatingclub.com. And I will see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.